juice? Who's got the juice? Smooth.
Since 'tis the season for MGS5, fa la 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 la, I have decided to base this juicy treat on my favourite gaming series ever made, Metal Gear Solid. And notice that I said solid. You know, I don't want any people being like, oh, what about Metal Gear? Because I played a bit of Metal Gear, but Metal Gear Solid is where it's at, and that's the one that most people are familiar with, especially people in, let's say, my generation. So, let me explain to you why this is probably my favourite gaming series ever made. I grew up with Metal Gear Solid. I mean, when I was a little infant, I remember watching my dad playing Metal Gear Solid all the time on the PS1, and I'd always sit there really wanting to play, even though I didn't know what the hell was going on or what any of the controls meant. This was before I knew anything about video games, really. And then when I was finally old enough to play Metal Gear Solid, I played the first section when you're trying to get into the elevator over and over and over again, because I thought it was really hard when I was a kid, and I was so proud when I finally got into that elevator and I made it to Shadowmosis. Oh, how I have changed since then. And since I first reached that elevator and made it to Shadowmosis, I have been playing the games ever since. And my god, do I think they're all bloody fantastic. The plots in all of these games are fantastic. Really, if you want to get a full grasp of the plots, I'd say play them in chronological order, being 3, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes 5, and then 1, 2, and 4 to finish it off. You don't have to play them in chronological order, you can just do it from 1 through to 5 with the little bonuses in between, because it still makes sense, they still allow it to make it make sense. But seriously, the plots are just absolutely amazing and they all grab you and they're all just... oh, I just love them so much. Now, I personally haven't really focused much on Metal Gear, or I haven't really played Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance or Rising yet, because I think Metal Gear, I pretty much know the basic plot and it's not something that I can imagine myself sitting down and fully playing, and Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, I just haven't got around to playing it yet, really. It doesn't seem like that much of a biggie, but I will get around to it at some point. All of these plots are just so engaging, in-depth, emotional, when you really get a connection with all of the characters. I can't summarise the whole plot of all the games in this short video, because it would be too painful for me to do that, as I usually go on a massive rant on everything. But please just trust me when I say that Hideo Kojima is a pure genius, and there's a reason why everyone respects him so much in the gaming industry. And I'm not afraid to admit that I've pretty much cried at every MGS game in the series. I'm going to tell you where I've cried now, so if you want to skip them, click on this time in the time slippy bit on the video, and just to avoid spoilers. So here we go. MGS1, Sniper Wolf's death. MGS2, Emma Emmerich's death. MGS3, the boss's death. MGS4, too many occasions. The plots are just that good. Now, before people start going, oh, this is a war game, I'm gonna go in there guns a-blazing like they do in COD, because that's what all the war games are about. This is actually anything but that. Really, it's a stealth game and you want to be identified or noticed as little as possible. You can go into the games being all guns a-blazing, but there are consequences. Such as in MGS3, if you kill too many people, Snake just stops and ends up throwing up, and then that could delay your time or your escape. So you really want to think about your actions before you do them. But the thing is, if you do get caught in this game when you don't want to, or you do just go in there guns a-blazing, you can hide away or evade or just escape the area in order to try and get the enemy's alert back from alerted all the way down to caution and then just peaceful again. And you do want to do this in some occasions, because there are some instances either where you have to open a door, and if you're on alert people will shoot you and then you could die because you're taking too long, or there are some like electronic doors that you can't do unless you're in maximum caution mode. There's just little things like that that really make you want to be as stealthy as possible, which I really appreciate and I absolutely love, because it makes you not go in there guns a-blazing. Now, as I said, when I first played these games, I was not the best at them, to say the least. I mean, I felt proud when I got into the elevator, but these games do take a little bit of time to get used to if you're not used to the game mechanic, so don't worry if you're starting playing and you keep on getting caught. I mean, I've introduced this game to loads of friends and they've not been the best. Let's just say they died a lot and a lot and a lot. But when you get the hang of it, you do feel like a boss as you sneak around going, I'm gonna get you, and you go, pew, and then they're gone. And then you just run past and you feel like an absolute boss. But there are some moments where you actually have to fight. An obvious example being boss battles, which are all bloody amazing. Every villain is memorable, fun to battle, and even a bit challenging. I mean, I've been stumped on quite a few of these on how to defeat them, and MGS1 has probably provided me with my favourite boss battle ever made, or certainly one of them, and that being ZephyrMantis. Also, his voice is so much fun to do.
You're a strong field man, obviously going into battles with your guns blazing. Oh, that's not the way to play this game. You're a very cautious man. One who goes in very sneakily and proudly and don't go in there guns blazing. Well done.
Something else that is truly epic in these games is the music. I mean, you remember all the vocal themes. I think I know all of them off by heart by now because I listen to them so much. They're all so epic, bold, memorable, and you just really want to go, whoa, and just sing with them. I listen to them when I'm trying to like work out or something because it just gives me a boost to be like, yeah, I'm motivated. Snake Eater! I love it so much. The music is also perfect at heightening emotions. I mean, I think the most emotional I ever got from one of these songs was Here's to You at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. Because seriously, I was just bawling for days and just listening to the song on its own. I was just lying in bed crying because it's so beautiful and so gorgeous and the whole thing just captivates you in this whole emotional circle. Oh, it's just so good. So all of these games have fantastic plots. Game design, I mean, especially for the time they were made, they really pushed the boundaries of what the consoles could do, and even now they're absolutely amazing. The gameplay, the plots, the music, everything, it's just all so good. I can't recommend these games enough. There's a reason why it's my favourite gaming series, and it's also home to one of my favourite games, probably my favourite game actually ever made. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And if you know me well enough, you probably would have already known that by now. But please, I can't recommend this enough. Play these games, get a great understanding for the plot, play them all, engage yourself with the characters, love them, learn about them, and they're just so good. So please, get off your phone or your computer or whatever you're watching this on, buy the games and just play them all because trust me, you will not be disappointed. And I've even got my Metal Gear Solid top on for this occasion. I hope you can see it. And this is my favourite top ever, so I love it. I just love it so much. I love it all.